Hello and welcome to the Elephant and Bear podcast, the show dedicated to sharing interesting tales from around Coventry and Warwickshire. I'm your host, Neil Young, and in today's show, we welcome Carol Blower. Carol is a events and marketing coordinator in Warwickshire. Carol, please can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello Neil. Yeah, my name's Carol Blower. My business is called Owl Events and Marketing, and I organise outdoor markets and craft fairs. I love doing them.
Fantastic. And whereabouts are those fairs?
They are at Hatton Country World, which is just outside of Warwick, which is a shopping village and a farm attraction. I've organised them in other places, hotels, garden centres. But since COVID, I've just got the one venue now, Hatton.
Fantastic, brilliant. And so obviously Hatton is in Warwickshire. And what does Warwickshire as a county mean to yourself, Carol?
Home, really. It's where I brought up my children, lived here for many years, and I wouldn't want to leave. I love Warwickshire.
Fantastic. Have you lived in Warwickshire since you were born, or did you come to Warwickshire in later years?
No, not since I was born. Since 1985, I've lived in Warwickshire. And I was born in Rugby, actually. So born in Warwickshire, brought up on my parents' farm, which it's actually now in Leicestershire. It was Rugby, Warwickshire, but it's when the borders changed, I think in the 1970s. So it's now Lutterworth, Leicestershire.
Oh, fantastic. And kind of, have you got any childhood memories of growing up around kind of the local area?
Well, yeah, I went to infant school, a tiny little infant school, a little village called Showell, which the school's now closed. Junior school and high school, actually, and grammar school, actually, in Lutterworth. But during the summer holidays, I used to help my dad on the farm, bale carting in the summer and feeding the baby calves. I used to have a pet cow as well, and the pet cow was called Carol. So we had lots of cycle rides because there's lots of places to go. Yeah, loved it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Sounds like a very kind of idyllic childhood, kind of growing up in kind of, a rural farm, and yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah, definitely. I love the countryside.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, in Warwickshire, there's lots of great tourist attractions to go to, whether it's kind of Warwick Castle or Hatton, or kind of places in Coventry, such as the Transport Museum. Now, if you were working for the tourist board for Coventry and Warwickshire, what would be the focus of your promotions?
I think a couple of things, really. I think main focus would probably be the travel trade, to get coaches from certainly throughout the UK to visit Warwickshire, because there's so many hotels, lots of attractions, and they need the business now as well, and they can visit the shops, and there's lots of places for them to visit. And the other thing I would do, actually, there's two things, and be a tourist in your own town. I did that with my friend once, and we were tourists, went as a tourist to Stratford, and we went to all these places never been to before. Great day. So encourage local people to go out and be a tourist in their own towns.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea about being a tourist in your local town, because, let's say, you forget about what things are on your doorstep, and you go to another city or another kind of county, and you visit all these places. There's so many good things to do in Yorkshire or Cornwall or wherever you go. And actually, there's lots of things on our doorstep, isn't there, that we can kind of go to and enjoy and visit. Yes,
indeed. I've often asked people that live in Warwick or live around Warwick, have you ever visited the castle? And they say, no, never.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been far too long since I visited the castle. So, maybe that's one of the trips for the summer that I need to do. Now, if we were to give you an imaginary pot of money, say £100 million, Carol, what would be the focus of spending that money to improve the local area?
Well, the local area and things in general, really. Potholes. Potholes, definitely potholes. And this is more general. I'd like, I think teaching children to cook, boys and girls, is really, really important. it's one of the basic necessities of life. You've got to eat, so you need to cook. Put kitchens in schools, and the other thing is teach them about commerce and banking, managing money. I think that's something that is more general. But looking after the old buildings in Warwickshire is something I'm really interested in. I love old buildings. I love chimney pots as well. I got to think about chimney pots, but yeah, I love old buildings, and to promote Warwickshire as a destination to visit, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of the buildings, I was driving through Walston in Warwickshire yesterday, and the variety of cottages and idyllic locations and stuff is brilliant, and it's just kind of about preserving those and making sure that people in the future can still appreciate and see those. Going back to your points about within schools and the cooking in schools and the financial education. Obviously, myself as a financial advisor, there definitely needs to be a lot more financial education in schools to just remove some of the complexity and make it easier for people to understand. And in terms of cooking in schools, I can remember cooking occasionally at school, but it was more baking rather than cooking. And actually, some of the key skills around whether it's making pasta or mixing things up, these things should be taught in schools, really, shouldn't they? So definitely agree with everything you say there. Obviously, Warwickshire has hundreds of thousands of people living in it at the moment, and many people in the past. Is there one person that you would associate with Warwickshire, and why would you associate them with Warwickshire?
It's got to be Shakespeare, really. Lady Godiva is very famous as well, known all over the world, but Shakespeare is very famous, known all over the world. And it's another thing we should learn about as well. So, Shakespeare. Yeah,
definitely. And it's got his influences, spread for many centuries and will also continue for many centuries still to come as well. So, I definitely agree with all of that.
Please excuse this brief interruption. This podcast is made possible by Plan with Neil. Plan with Neil is an independent financial advisor from Coventry, helping people improve their financial well-being by supporting them with retirement planning, life insurance, and much more. Please check out the website planwithneil.com and book a free discovery session today. Now, back to the podcast.
Do you have a favourite place in Coventry in Warwickshire that you'd recommend people visiting?
I think my favourite place has been at home. But no, I love the Lord Leicester Hospital in Warwick. Love that. And I love Warwick Castle. I do visit Warwick Castle, although I haven't been for probably 2 or 3 years. And the locks. They're all over Warwickshire. The ones close to me at Hatton, and they're great. I run as well, so running around the locks. Those are really my places my favourite places.
Yeah, fantastic. So lots of green and outdoor spaces to visit within Warwickshire, and obviously with the locks and the canals, the kind of the history that brings and shows you for Coventry and Warwickshire over the kind of the last couple of centuries and what it means. So fantastic. Okay, and do you have any recommendations of any hidden gems in Coventry and Warwickshire that people should visit?
Hidden gems. Well, I love Hatton Country World anyway, with its shopping village and its farm attraction, and of course that's where I hold my markets and craft fairs. But it is genuinely a great place, and the staff are really lovely. Another place which is great is Hill Close Gardens in Warwick. That's hidden away. It's in the centre of Warwick, and I think it's run by a charity. Lovely little spot to visit. Warwick Museum. I appreciate it's right in the centre of town, but that's a great place. The museum and the locks. Love the locks.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, Warwick Museum. It's right plonk in the centre, isn't it? But actually, so many people probably walk past it and never visit it at all, really. And for people that don't know about Hatton, who is it ideal for? Because is it just for children? Is it for kind of all ages? Who would you say Hatton is for?
Definitely all ages. The farm attraction is more for parents with children up to the age of about 12 and grandparents with grandchildren. But the shops is and my events as well is more for I suppose age 30, 35 plus. And great shops, great markets, and we have some fantastic bespoke crafts on our market stalls. There must be 70 to 80% of every event I do is people who've actually made the products themselves. So it's a great place to take mum, your dad, your parents, your grandparents. Yeah, it's all ages really. I would say all ages.
Fantastic. And what animals do they have there these days?
Well, there's the sheep, there's guinea pigs. Guinea pig village is always very popular. They do sheep racing in the summer, I believe. Lots of farm animals, cattle, pigs, piglets. There's piglets there at the moment. They have baby lambs in the springtime.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do they have a cow called Carol?
No, I don't think so. No.
Maybe that's what they need, the new star attraction.
Called Carol, yeah.
Fantastic. And obviously, we talked about kind of today in Coventry and Warwickshire, but is there anything that you missed from the...
It's quite a hard one, really. It's trying to remember, really, as well. I do remember there were some old buildings in Warwick and I guess Coventry as well at some point that were knocked down and replaced by modern buildings in the 1960s, which is a real shame. I suppose the old buildings and another thing I would miss about, it's not about Warwickshire past really, but if living in the middle of the country, I do miss the seaside. I do love the seaside, but I'd never go and live at the seaside. I love Warwickshire, so I have to drive 100 miles to the seaside. But
yeah, that's one of the things that isn't going to be solved very easily, is it? You with £100 million, you're not going to bring the coast to Warwickshire with that. But yeah, never mind. Fantastic. So how would you describe Coventry and Warwickshire to outsiders? The fact that there's no coast.
Coast, no, in the middle of the country. Friendly. I think people in Warwickshire are really friendly, and it's steeped in history. There's lots and lots of pubs to visit, all different types. There's the gastro pubs, lots of nice food, and then there's what I call dare I say, spit and sawdust pubs. But they're great. I love them. There's loads and loads of parks as well. Jefferson Gardens, St Nicholas Park, Victoria Park. Lots of places to walk, lots of places to run, and beautiful countryside. I mean, you can just be walking along or driving along and you go around the corner and think, wow, look at that view. It's amazing. And it's easy to get to as well. We're in the middle of the country, lots of motorways around. So it's an easy place to get to. That's how I would describe Warwickshire.
Yeah, definitely. And there is so much green space within Warwickshire. And like I say, it doesn't take long to get it. I'm kind of sat here kind of recording in Coventry, and within 2 minutes, we're into kind of the different villages around the area. So lots of great spaces with that. Okay, let's move on to some kind of quickfire questions for you now, Carol. So first of all, can you tell me your favourite Warwickshire town?
Has to be Warwick. Warwick.
Definitely lots of conviction in that answer. Is there any particular reason for it being Warwick?
I fell in love with it actually. Back in, oh goodness me, after I left college, I had 1 or 2 jobs around the country, some at the seaside. I worked in hotels, and I applied for a job in Warwick. It was the Lord Leicester Hotel then. It's no longer a hotel, as a receptionist. And I went for the interview. I just fell in love with that. And I was probably, I don't know, about 20. And I thought, I love this place. I don't know what it was. There's just something about it. Just love Warwick.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I got the job as well. Hotel.
And
been there.
And what would be your favourite castle? Would it be Kenilworth Castle or Warwick Castle?
Warwick. Kenilworth is beautiful, and I can run there actually from Hatton Park, go and park up, and then run to Warwick and back, and it is beautiful. And there's the 2 castles run which go from Warwick to Kenilworth, which is great. But no, if I had to choose one, it'd be Warwick.
No, fantastic. And I think I know the answer to this one, but would it be North Warwickshire or South Warwickshire that you prefer?
It would be South Warwickshire, Neil.
Your roots and your ties are, isn't it, with Warwick Castle and Hatton and everything. So, yeah, not surprised to hear that answer, Carol. So, can you tell us a bit more about your business and how people can find out more about yourself, Carol?
Yes, so I organise outdoor markets and craft fairs, and where individuals and small businesses, and most of them are crafters, don't have to be crafter, but most of them tend to be, they can buy space. So, for example, we've got this weekend, we've got an event on. They can buy a space, and that space is a market stall with a table within the market area. They can buy that from us and come along and promote their business and sell their products to the visiting public.
Fantastic.
And my website is owleventsandmarketing.co.uk.
Perfect. And are you looking for any particular types of stores at the moment that you think would do well at Hatton?
Crafters always tend to do well. I've been looking for somebody who sells honey, but no, I suppose crafters in general. Let me just think. People that make candles. Who else? Bunting, cushions. They always go well. People love bunting. I've got miles of it made by one of my stall holders. I think I could string it to Warwick and back. I've got so much of it now. And
you were saying before the podcast, memorabilia as well?
Yes, football memorabilia. That always sells really well. I think I've got a guy this weekend coming. That sells well, and it would be good to have him on a regular basis, or her, I'm not sure. So that type of thing does sell well, football memorabilia. I have had a guy at one of my craft fairs. It wasn't Hatton, it was another one. He sold clocks, I think it was, with lots of football clubs on them, and he sold absolutely loads of them. He did really, really well. Pens as well, handmade pens. I've got a guy who comes and sells handmade pens. Bowls, wooden bowls, signs.
Yeah, fantastic. Everyone always loves some good stationery, don't they? Or something personalised as well from craft fairs and things like that. So brilliant. And you do wedding ones as well, don't you? So specific themed ones. So you got any of the themed ones coming up this year at all, Carol?
Yeah, we do specific themed ones. Got a vintage one. I love the vintage one. That's in October. One in October, one in December. We've got some summer markets coming up, and craft fairs as well. I'm going to do more craft fairs next year, and the craft fairs are for handmade and hand-produced products only. Although most of the stall holders are anyway, but whilst all of my events do sell out, we do sell all the space. We do turn a lot of people away because we don't have enough craft fairs, because they specifically want the craft fairs. So, yeah, need to do more craft fairs next year. So, yeah, we do Easter themed ones as well. Got a coronation one coming up, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th of June. That's going to be fun. Lots of Union Jacks, lots of red, white, and blue.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Okay, so that's all we've got time for today. So so thank you very much for coming on, Carol. It's great to speak to you, and hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you for having me, Neil. Nice to speak to you too.